years ago, I did something so embarrassing that I couldn't stop cringing for years. I'm not going to tell you what it was yet. I remember thinking, everyone definitely saw that. Everyone's definitely thinking about it. Maybe they still are. Like I was a lead in a tragic drama. Spoiler, I wasn't. Which brings me to the incident. This is the moment everything fell into place, including me. It was a normal day. I was walking down the stairs gracefully. Or so I thought, when I tripped. And when I say tripped, I mean a full-on, slow motion, could have been in a comedy movie kind of fall. It wasn't graceful, it wasn't subtle, it was a disaster. As I hit the ground, my brain went into full panic mode. That's it, my reputation is ruined. I can never show my face at school again. This is how I'll be remembered forever. The girl who fell down the stairs. I imagined people would talk about it for weeks, maybe even give it a name. The great staircase collapse of the year. I thought teachers would use me as an example in future assemblies. And this, my dear students, is why you should never run down the stairs. I was certain that this moment would haunt me forever. But guess what? People forgot about it in a week, less than a week. And that's when it hit me. No one actually cares as much as we think they do. People are too busy worrying about their own lives. Think about it. Can you remember the last time someone else tripped? No? Exactly. Now think about it. Have you ever walked through hallways with dramatic music playing in your head? Like you're in some deep, emotional music video. In your mind, it's cinematic. Your footsteps are perfectly in sync with the imaginary background score. And you might throw in a sigh for extra effect. But in reality, you just tripped over your own shoelaces on your way to class, and the only actual sound is someone coughing while a teacher yells at a late student. Not exactly cinema, is it? And it's not just hallways, it's everything. Here's the funniest part. We take ourselves so seriously. Every embarrassing moment, every awkward moment is a permanent stain on our history. As if the world is constantly watching, waiting for us to mess up. But is that really the case? Now, here's my personal favorite incident. I was at the library, peacefully browsing through books, when an entire shelf of books collapsed on me. Not just a few books, but the entire stack. Now, I don't know if you've ever had books collapse on you, but let me tell you, it's not graceful. Not like in the movies where someone gets hit and they laugh it off charmingly. No. I was caught under an avalanche of books, and for a moment, I just had to lay there, questioning all my life choices. All heads turned to me. People stared, some gasped, and the librarian gave me a deadly look. And at that very moment, I had two choices. I could die of embarrassment or pretend it never happened. So naturally, I went with the option 2. I got up, casually dusted myself off, and nodded like I meant to do that. And then I walked away with whatever dignity I had left. But inside, I was screaming. Yet again, no one actually cared. So why do we waste so much time overthinking? Now, we all have those classic embarrassing moments, like when you wave at someone, only to realize they're waving at the person behind you. And now, to save face, you have to act like you're stretching. Or when you say, you too, to the waiter, when they say, enjoy your meal. And now, you've got to live with that for the rest of your life. Or when you trip in front of everyone, everyone's staring at you and you have to act like you're sitting down. Or say, I'm just attacking the floor. And now, what do all these things have in common? No one actually cares. So why do we spend so much time overanalyzing? We expect life to be some grand sitcom, where everything makes sense and all our struggles lead to profound moments of realization. But in reality, life is more like a badly written sitcom where nothing goes as planned. You study for weeks, memorizing every single detail. The exam starts with a question from a chapter you did not even know existed. You plan the perfect outfit for an event, feeling like you finally got your life together. And the moment you step outside, you spill something on it. Or like me, you rehearse a speech 50 times in front of the mirror, feeling like you're perfect, you are absolutely prepared. And the moment you step on stage, your brain decides to go on vacation. Life does not care about your plans. And the moment you realize this, everything gets so much easier. Now, what's the secret to happiness? Stop trying so hard. Most of our stress, anxiety, and self-doubt come from this exhausting, impossible belief. We think that we have to be perfect. We convince ourselves that every little awkward moment, every embarrassing thing you do is a permanent stain on our reputation. That if we don't always do the right thing, say the right thing, or act the right way, people will judge us. Not just for a moment, but forever. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nobody cares. They're too busy worrying about their own embarrassing moments. The happiest people in the world, they're not the ones who never mess up. They're not the ones who never make mistakes or never do anything embarrassing. The happiest people in the world are the ones who learn to laugh, adapt, and move on. They trip and get up. They say something weird and they just shrug it off. They fail and try again. They don't waste time overthinking, replaying, and regretting. They are the ones who live. Now, what's the secret to happiness? Think about the funniest stories you've ever heard. Are they about the times where someone was flawless? No. They are about the times where someone confidently walked into a glass door. Or, in my case, had an entire bookshelf collapse on me. See, we think mistakes are things to be ashamed of, but what if we started collecting them instead? Embarrassing moments, they're like battle scars, proof that we lived. They show that we took chances, tried something new, spoke up. And in the end, those moments are not the moments that break us. They just give us hilarious stories to tell later. Happiness is not about controlling every single situation. It's about learning to embrace the chaos, to find joy in the messiness, to make peace with the fact that sometimes life is going to be a disaster, and that's okay. Now, how to deal with embarrassment? The moment you stop caring about it, the moment you own it, it loses its power. Think about the stories you've heard. Are they about the times when someone tripped or messed up in front of people? Now, did you spend days thinking about it? No. You just laughed, forgot about it, and moved on. But still, in that very moment, when your face is burning and you want the ground to swallow you whole, what do? Now, here's how I deal with embarrassment. Firstly, I own it. Did you trip? Get up dramatically, like you meant to do it. Send something weird, laugh and roll with it. Messed up in front of people? Make a joke about it before someone else can. Confidence, it's magnetic. The moment you own it, it loses its power, the less embarrassing they seem. Secondly, flip the perspective. You fell down, and now what do? You embarrass yourself so badly. What do? Now, if you saw someone else do the same thing, would you judge them forever? Of course not. You just laugh with them and move on. So stop treating yourself so harshly. Stop overanalyzing these things when no one even remembers them. Now, here's my favorite rule. It's the 5-5-5 rule. So you ask yourself, will this matter in 5 minutes? Of course it does. You feel embarrassed, but in 5 minutes, something else will happen and people will move on. Now, will this matter in 5 days? Highly unlikely. It'll be old news. Now, the last question you ask yourself is, will this matter in 5 years? Not even a little bit. You won't even remember it. And now, turn it into a story. Now, I've said this before. So, what are the funniest stories you've heard? You see, people, they bond over awkward, ridiculous moments. The things that embarrassed you today might be the things you laugh about tomorrow. Think about it. Don't your funniest memories come from something that embarrassed you so badly yesterday? So instead of feeling humiliated, collect these moments like stories to tell later. And now, if all else fails, just remind yourself you have survived 100% of your most embarrassing moments. And you're still here, still standing, still laughing, and still smiling. So, what's one more? And if you ever feel stuck, just remember this. You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of embarrassing bravery. And trust me, something great will come out of it. The next time you trip in public, give an awkward speech, or have an entire pile of books collapse on you, just remember, no one actually cares. And if they do, congratulations! You've just given them a funny story to tell later. And isn't that what makes life entertaining? And now I'd like to end with a small question. I want you to think about it and, yeah, live accordingly. Who would you be if you were never afraid? Who would you be if you never cared about what others think? Thank you.